Hello and welcome back to livealittlehigher.com. I really hope you had beautiful high holidays, meaningful, inspirational, and that you're back with renewed energy and inspiration to continue growing in Torah and mitzvot. Today we start with the parasha Noah, which is the second parasha of the book of Bereshit. And as you know, Noah was a tzaddik of his time, of his generation. He was a righteous man in a time where evil ruled the world. And God chose him to build an ark, a teva, to bring in his family and all the animals in pairs, to a pair of each animal of the world, and edible food to come into the teva because he was going to destroy the world with a flood, with a mabul. So today I want to learn with you, teach a beautiful Devar Torah given by Rabbi Yankee Taber in his book The Insight Story, which is a recopilation of insights of the Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Menachem Mendel Schneer, son of blessed memory. So he talks about that life in a box, and he says that God says in a pasuk in the Torah portion that God said to Noah, "Come into the teva, come into the ark." And then there's another pasuk further on in the parasha that says God spoke to Noah saying, "Go out from the teva." So in the literal meaning of the Hebrew word teva it means a container or a box, and the teva of the above quoted verses is the floating ark in which Noah went in and he saved his family and the animals and the food from the floods. Also, teva means word, and when it talks about the word, it really is talking about the Torah learning. That's what it means, that the teva was a box where there was Torah in it. And words, in a certain way, are containers, they're boxes. They contain our feelings, our sentiments, our thoughts, our beliefs, it defines our qualities, our personality. So words are not a simple thing. And then it tells us here that when he said to Noah, "Come into the ark," the waters of the flood represent also the tribulations of our life, the tribulations, the pain, the fears, the doubt that we feel in our lives. And when Hashem is telling Noah, "Come into the teva," what he was telling him was, come into a world, enter into a world where you will find refuge from the flood waters of life. So it's interesting to know that it's been a month since all these hurricanes hit the world. It was one after the other. It was very scary. It started in Houston, then the next one came into Florida, and they went on and on and on, like never ending. And we saw all these calamities coming to the world right before Rosh Hashanah, where there was an earthquake in Mexico, and now we have the fires in California. So these are things that are really, they come from God. We might think they are nature. This is nature, they call it nature, but really God is hiding in nature, and he's working his way through nature, just like he created this flood in the times of Noah. And it is to clean the world. That's the meaning of it. But really, what it's telling us is that in a spiritual level, we are always inundated by these fears and this uncertainty in life. No matter what's going on in your life, it can be a business dealing, it can be a family situation, whatever it is. But what God is telling us is coming to the teva, coming to the refuge of Torah learning. So the way, the antidote to fight these feelings of uncertainty and fear is through the Torah. And that's the way that we get out of it, is through Torah learning. So we see that every morning when we wake up, we begin by saying Modeh ani lefaneha, which means that we offer thanks to you, living and eternal King, for restoring my soul to me. So the first words of the day are followed by many words of prayer. We go out from our bed and we get ready. Men go to the synagogue. Some women are accustomed to praying in the morning. But this prayer, this ritual of praying in the morning and beginning with Modeh Ani, saying thank you to God, this is the first thing we do when we open our eyes, is to be grateful. It really sets the tone for the day. And we go into the synagogue or we're praying in our homes. This should be what carries us through the day. We should not only keep it inside where we are, but we should take it with us through the day. And it should give us the strength. So on a deeper level, our teva, which is buoyed by the waters of the flood, even as it sheltered us from them, this too is alluded in the Torah's account of Noah's flood, where we read the waters increased and they lifted the teva, and it rose above the earth, and the teva moved upon the surface of the waters. So Rabbi Shneur Salman of Liadi, the Alter Rebbe, explains this in a very deep way, where he explains that a businessman, that it's common for them to think that their prayers are unworthy and that they're inferior from the prayers of a Torah scholar. Why? Because a Torah scholar, he's learning Torah all day, so his prayers just go up. There he has not sinned, he has no bad thoughts, like they just go up. But he says here that it's the other way around, because there is an advantage to light that derives from darkness. And when the worries and the cares of the material world overburden the businessman, his prayer is so sublime, it comes from such a deep part of himself, that he acknowledges that his wealth comes from God, that his money comes from God, that his success comes from God, that his prayer is in a much loftier level than the prayer of a person that sits and learns all day. Because a person that sits and learns all day, he's really not a materialistic person, he's a spiritual guy. So he really doesn't need the Gucci shoes, he really doesn't need the big house, he really doesn't need a lot. If he comes home and there's like vegetable soup because that's what they have, he's fine with it. He has no yearning for material delicacies, let's call them. So his whole day is occupied with spiritual matters, and the floodwaters of material life actually lift up the words of prayer of the Torah to greater heights. And it says here also that the teva was more than a personal sanction for Noah. Noah was instructed to enter the teva with his wife, his sons, 3 sons, their wives, a pair of each animal that existed in the world, and he also had to come and bring edible food to keep seed alive upon the earth. So like he would bring like the fruits, and that seed of those fruits would be what he would plant afterwards, and that's what sprouted afterwards. So in the same vein, the teva we create should not serve only as a personal ark in our lives, and we are to invite our families, our friends, our close people, make sure that they're good, that they're in a healthy place, that they're imbued with holiness and spirituality, and also with sanctity and purpose, and to help them navigate the hazards of life and give them strength. Furthermore, our teva should embrace also the non-human elements of our environment, and because the material world is also meant to be elevated. The Jew is not meant to live apart from the world. We're meant to be part of the world. And the material world is really, Hashem gave it to us for us to elevate it and sanctify it and use it for Him. So for example, ink and paper, it's very holy when someone takes that ink and paper and writes a Torah book and you're learning from it. Or you are a businessman and you're making money, but that money you give 10%, 15% to charity. So your whole pursuit of business should be to help other people. Whatever you have for yourself is wonderful, but your intention when you go out to work is to make your wife a happy wife, to make sure she's taken care of, your children that they're taken care of, because tzedakah starts in the home, and to make sure that you're taking care of your community and your family, and all this will make your business much more productive and much more meaningful. So all these things really should make you should be that. When you go to work, your mind if you're going to buy a property, your mind should be in how much goodness I can bring out of this, and not how much money I'm going to make out of this. So here we say that in the communal and universal scale, the sanctity of our teva, enclosed lives must extend beyond the boundaries of our own personal lives. We should also be making sure that our teva will go and extend itself to our community and the place where we live, and we can help other people. So in these two, Noah's teva is a prototype and a model, and Noah's ark was a microcosm that represented the Messianic era. And it says that there's a verse in Isaiah where it says that the wolf shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all of my holy mountain, for the world will be filled with the knowledge of God as water submerged the sea. So what it's telling us here is that in the ark, the animals would not predate one over the other. For example, the wolf would live with the lamb, but he would not eat the lamb. There was complete serenity, there was complete harmony amongst the people, with the animals, with the food. Everything was perfect. So what it's telling us here is that when Hashem tells Noah, go out from the teva, he gives him this command. What he was telling him, he was instructing him, was that he should, whatever he created in that teva, should go out to the world. And to us, it expresses the imperative that we transplant the holiness and the tranquility of our own teva, our own box, and sanctuary to the world at large. And in anticipation of the divinely perfect world of Mashiach, bring the world to the perfection, and a world that is free of greed, jealousy, hatred, and instead it's suffused with wisdom and goodness in the Creator. So I leave you here. I wish you a beautiful week, and remember, live a little higher. Thank you.